So, a lot of foreign people want to move out from their country for a lot of reasons, and a lot of times it's because of the economy. And in this moment, I noticed that there is an underrated place to move, okay? And you can even retire in this country, okay? And many times it's immediately associated to violence, to crimes, to a lot of let me say labels that are not exactly only this. And in my opinion, this country is the best country in the world for Americans, Canadians, like even Europeans to retire. Okay, if you are not rich, but if you have let me say medium condition, you can have a really good life and can retire here in Brazil. Okay, I talk here in Brazil, and I'm sure here Brazil is the best place in the world to retire. Okay, and I will point here 5 key arguments for this. Okay, and the best argument here is economical, and I will prove this at the end of the video, so stay with me until the end. Okay, so first of all, for Brazilians, Brazil is not good, not even close. Okay, it's very harsh because the purchase power here is very low. We have a scarcity of jobs here. We have a lot of qualified people here because we have a lot of universities. Every corner you go, you have a university. You have online universities. Universities here are really cheap. So we have this huge amount of qualified people with no jobs because the economy here don't grow up at the level to hire this lot of qualified people. So a lot of Brazilians go foreign, go to live overseas, even working in worse jobs, let me say, that they use it to work here, but at least they are already making money in good currency. And we have a lot of agents here that are specialized to move people from Brazil. The Brazilians should live overseas. Okay, we have a lot. But I don't see a lot, at least at my experience. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let me know in the comments. I don't see a lot of agents moving Americans from USA, from Canada, from Europe to Brazil. And I think there is a very huge opportunity for this market. A lot of Americans and rich country people could benefit from it. Okay, and that is living in Brazil. Okay, yes, I'm sure Brazil is the best place in the world for who makes money in strong currency. Okay, not for Brazilians, but for the foreigners could be excellent. And let me point here the 5 arguments. Okay, I'm sure you will love this. Okay, first of all, location. Okay, Brazil is in a very strategic region here in relation to Canada, to USA, to Europe. Is in the Occident culture, so the culture is similar to the USA. Okay, you will not experience a shock of culture as you would experience in Southeast Asia, let me say like this. Okay, all right, if you wanna pass like 6 months, 1 year in the Southeast Asia, maybe is interesting, but to live, okay, at least I think to retire, to live, I think would be more interesting if you look at least a culture similar from yours. Okay, and America and Brazil has a very, very similar culture. It doesn't have this, you will not be shocked, let me say like this, with this culture. Okay, second point, sorry, I will point more arguments here. Okay, now will be 6 because I remember this second point. That is, Brazil has no wars. Okay, Brazil has this stability. Okay, he is not involved in wars, in dictatorships. Okay, we have, yes, a lot of authoritarianism here, but it's still a democracy, and I don't think Brazil will change to a Venezuelan mode or Argentina. Okay, Brazil is this slow decreasing economy forever, but very stable decreasing the economy. Okay, and I will prove you why this is good for you, the Brazilian economy going down. Okay. The third point here, I talked about localization, the culture. Okay. I will talk about now the security. Okay. Obviously, security here is not good. We really have this problem with crimes. Okay, I have to admit this. This is a thing that makes people give up from coming here. Okay, but I will give you a point of view from a native. Okay, if you watch the news and see, you will be scared, of course. Okay, but let me point here the native perspective from who lives here in Brazil for 35 years and know the country. I've been to many cities. Okay, there is a lot of options with safety here in Brazil. Okay, mainly you will have this problem with security if you go to big capitals. And let me say like this: if a city has starting from 500,000 people, it's not generalizing, but generally they start to be dangerous, because the laws here are the same for all the country. So it's very equal. The system always repeats the situation generally. Okay, but I can say you will find safety and quality of life, these two things together. Okay, because you will be in small cities, but with high variety of options and low crimes rates in generally in the countryside, in the south and the southeast region of Brazil, that are the richest parts of Brazil, and the capitals are very maybe dangerous. Okay, but if you go to the countryside, mainly in São Paulo, okay, São Paulo is the richest state in the country. So São Paulo is the state that generates a lot of taxes and revenue for the government. So this possibility to the government to make more investments in the cities of São Paulo. Okay, so in the state of São Paulo, you will find a lot of very interesting, let me say, countryside cities with a good quality of life. They don't have very expensive cost of living, and and you don't have that criminality, so you can mix safety with criminality. And you have in the southeast region too a lot of states, let me say, like Santa Catarina, like you can find in Paraná. Okay, you can find in these states a lot of small cities. Not they are small, but they have a high quality of life because they are rich states. They make up a lot of taxes money, and they can invest in the cities. Okay, so these are very good environments. Okay, the fourth point here, that Brazil, wait until the end. Okay, I promise it will worth it. The fourth point here is the diversity of climate. Okay, here in Brazil you have a huge country with a lot of climate to choose. Okay, if you like cold, you have places with cold climate. If you like hot beaches, you will have the northeast region. Okay, with hot beaches. The cities are not, we have huge capitals in the northeast city, but they have criminality and these problems. Okay, in the countryside in the northeast, you won't find huge cities with a lot of development like we find in the south and the southeast region. The northeast region is more for those who want hot beaches and a very calm lifestyle. You can go to a beach in the northeast region and you will have a calm and safe and lifestyle. The cities generally are smaller, don't have a lot of options, but they are next to the capitals. So you can go to the capital if you want to have fun or something like this. But there is this diversity you can choose. Okay. The next point here is the diversity of the cost of living, okay? Cost of living here is cheap, okay? Generally is a lot cheaper than the rich countries. So here is where this thing starts to be interesting. If you make like $1,000 per month in America, let me say like this, you will be nice for one person here in Brazil, okay? It's a really interesting money. A lot of people make this money like renting their houses in the USA, or they have stocks or bonds in USA or Europe. They just rent their house in the Europe and come here. They make like 1,000 euros, 1,000 and half dollars, and they can live very well here, okay? It's not a rich life, but you can have the basic, okay? You can just you can have a good life here, okay, for one person, okay? I'm saying like this. And there is this additional point here to end up the video that is really interesting, okay? Mainly if you, let me say, you live in USA and you are thinking, I want to go to Europe to retire. It's a kind of difficult, because if you think in the long term, the currency is a very important key in the economical situation of you, of your family, to the future, okay? We can't have absolutely sure, at least in my opinion, that the dollar will always appreciate in relation to the euro, okay? Because Europe has a lot of strong points, a lot of rich countries there, and USA is, in other point of view, an extraordinary country, okay? With a lot of advantages and strong points, human quality, behavior, okay, whatever. So these two economies, you cannot be sure. If you go to Europe, if you are American, go to Europe, your currency will always appreciate. So you can have a depreciation of your purchase power with the time, or you can make money with the pass of the time. And the inversional situation is true. If you are a European and you go to the United States, it don't make a lot of sense because of the cost of living and the currency. We cannot say if it will appreciate with the time. But one thing I can point here with 100% of confidence. If you are American and you make money in dollars, every year here in Brazil you are making more and more money, because the currency here in Brazil always depreciates in relation to the USA, okay? And the answer is very simple, okay? When you compare USA with Brazil, the two currencies, always the USA currency is from far better than the Brazilian. So I have some graphs here that I took these graphics from tradingeconomics.com, okay, that compares the inflation rates between Brazil since 2000 and United States since 2000. Brazil inflation ranges from 2-3% until 15%. 15% in 2003. Okay? And there are some peaks in 2015, 10%, 2020, 12% of inflation. So why this happened? This happened because you can see in this channel a lot of explanations to this problem. We have a strong problems here, very problems, political, economical, that are very difficult to change. I explain this a lot in the channel. So I'm sure that Brazil will not solve this soon, okay? The tendency is always the dollar appreciates against the real, okay? So if you have $1,000, $2,000 today, $3,000, in the past years you are making more, you will have a much more purchase power here in Brazil, okay? So if you think medium long term, Brazil is interesting because of this. You will be richer and richer with the pass of the time, because you make money in a strong currency. As I say, maybe you rent a house in your country, maybe you have stocks, bonds, I don't know. But I see gringos recording video that they are receiving like $2,000 from a house they rented in the Europe. Don't know, because houses in Europe tend to be expensive and more expensive, and in USA too. Okay, and that's it. Okay, I think Brazil, for these reasons, and there are more reasons, but to make this video shorter, is the best place in the world for American or European to retire. And the violence problem, okay, you can just skip this when you go to the right city, okay, when you live in a condominium, a closed condominium like this, okay. So that's it. Thanks for your attention. If you like, put the comments, okay, like the video, subscribe, and see you.